Welcome back, my lovely crafty people. Today I'm going to have a go at starting a flip-flap folio with pockets that I can then stuff with ephemera and give as a gift. Depending on how this turns out, this may well be the giveaway I give away when I reach 100 subscribers. So I've just started gathering together some double-sided collage papers I have. These are A4 sheets. They've got some really lovely front and backs, and we're going to use two of them to start with. So I'm just going to choose two quite plain because these will be the backgrounds. Now you're going to fold these into three. What I don't want though is I don't want them quite as high as this, so I'm just going to line them up. And I probably want them about 18 centimetres tall. So just using the lines on my cutting mat. I love the lines on my cutting mat, they're really useful. I'm just going to cut two exactly the same size. And remember that I've gone 18 centimetres. So let me grab a little scrap of paper. That's important, we'll remember that for when we come to do some of the inserts. So these two strips I'm now going to fold into three. So I am going to just fold one side over and then using it as a guide, just fold it and crease, and then fold this side and crease, and I'm going to have that side at the top. So you'll open the first one left, then right, you fold in right, then left. Okay, just going to do exactly the same with the other one. So making sure we've got them roughly the same size. Now I could measure this, mark it out, score it, and do those bits and bobs, but I'm happy to just eyeball it. So just making sure that is slightly smaller. You can see I've left a tiny gap. That just allows, when we fold the sheet in, that the wider front is going to be on the front actually. Let's have a look. What have I done? Okay, stop. Yep, so I've just tweaked it a little and made sure that that fold comes across. So that will be my front flap. And that will be my front flap there. This one's not quite straight. Let's just make sure the fold is straight. And again, making sure the fold is straight. It's quite important that you do get the fold straight. So the wider flap is going to go on the front. I'm going to turn them over so the middle of is facing me. And they are going to go like that. So what I need to do is I need to measure the width of that, 20 centimetres. So we're going to choose another coordinating sheet. And I'm going to cut that. Look at that, the width of the page. So we're just going to cut 18 centimetres. So 15, 16, 17, 18. Using the lines on my cutting mat, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. Remembering we're 18 centimetres high. Let's just check we've gone the right height. Yep. So this one we're then going to fold in half. And this is going to create the bridge to join these two sides together. Okay. Although it slightly hangs over, that's fine, because what we're going to do is take probably a couple of centimetres off. Let's take maybe 3 centimetres off. And then using my giant hole punch, I'm going to just punch around in roughly the middle, so just a half circle in the middle, so that then will create 2 pockets. So I'm just going to glue those onto there, and you can see already we've got 2 tuck spots. So with the glue, I'm just going to glue very finely across the top, down the spine and across the bottom. I think for that, actually, to keep it right, I'm just actually going to use my glue pen. Just checking. Right, so we're just going to go really close to the edge. Okay, just making sure it's all spread along the edge. Once this has run out, I will just refill it, because it's actually a really handy little dispenser for having that really fine line. I've tried those little squeezy bottles, but they always seem to clog up on me. So this is our first one. So we're going to stick it right to the edge of the back of number 3, back of the middle flap. Okay, so I'm just going to stick it down. I don't want to move it around too much, because that will lose the space in the pocket, and I want these pockets to work. Okay, I've chosen quite a neutral theme, because I think I'm going to choose one of the Be Happy stationaries to embellish, decorate, and I think I'll probably do the flower garden kit, because that's one I think that's so far that's my favourite, although there is a really nice Love is in the Air one, but I'm not sure. So if this works out, I will use this as a my design team. I've joined Be Happy's design team, which I'm really chuffed about, that she thinks my work is good enough to be able to join the design team. So I will have a task to do a month of using Be Happy stationery to create something. So I think I'm going to use the Be Happy stationery in this design, and I'm going to have a look at the kits and decide which one, whether I want to do the Secret Garden, I think it's Secret Garden, or whether I want to do Love is in the Air. So I'm just going to line that one up, remembering it's the middle back flap. Just lining that up with that one, and just press it down. Okay, just pressing that together. So once that dries, we've got an open, and middle with the bridge, and then we've got an open and an open. Okay, so the bridge in the middle is what creates the Flip Flap Folio. So I'm just going to leave that for a minute to dry, give that a few seconds. Okay, and then we're going to have a go at doing these inserts. Where is it? I've got a sheet of plastic somewhere. This is my gluing sheet, so I can just pop that in there, give that a really good press down, making sure it's all really well stuck, but then it won't stick together. So inside we're going to create a flip down and a flip up. So I've actually probably got enough of this left to do all the flips. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it just shy of the width of that middle. So I'm just measuring it up to fold it. There you go. And then and slice down. Okay. I'm going to fold this in half. All will become clear. And slice that down again, just making sure the slice is straight. Okay, so there I've got a bottom pocket on this page and a bottom pocket on the back, or you could do one top, one bottom. Okay, so you can see, but what we'll now do is we'll use one of the other corresponding papers, maybe that one, and we'll do the same again. So we want it that width. And there are kits out there that you can buy, that you can just have a pre-made kit that you cut everything out and just glue it all together. I did watch a couple of folio videos on YouTube, and after watching a few videos I thought, you know what, I can make that. I don't need to print off the kit. I can get the rough idea of what I'm doing and make it. Okay. So we've got those two flaps, and then what we'll do is again cut that one in half. Okay, so let's bring our folio back. Hopefully it's dried enough that, yeah, okay, just pop that to one side. So in the front, okay, remembering you fold right, then left, so you're opening from the left, then from the right. I'm going to decide which way round I want these the flaps. So we're going to have one, the top one is going to rest over the top of the bottom one. And all I'm going to do is just make a small fold, probably about 1 centimetre, just scoring it down. I have got scoring tools, but to be honest, I just use my nails, making sure that folds as flat as possible. I'm going to do the same on this one. Okay, so those flaps, one will come down and one will go up. So we're just going to glue those on in place. Okay, before we do that, I am going to round the corners. I don't want really rounded corners, but I do want them a little bit roundy. So I'm just going to go with the small round. Bear with, and we're back. Interruptions from the door, not a problem. So it was just rounding these corners, and what I might do is just to stress the edges a little. I don't want to do too much because we are going to use a kit to decorate and embellish, but for now, just going to distress the edges of these a little. See, not a lot, just a tiny amount. This paper is slightly shiny, so I don't want to do too much anyway because it will smudge and run. Okay, here we are. So we were spots on the bottom. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. And then I'm not going to stick it flush to the edge. I'm going to just come in probably a few millimeters all the way around. So from the bottom, and just stick that down. And then we'll do the same at the top. See, I've already clogged up this glue pen. I don't do too well with the... And then we'll just do the same at the top. Just coming in those few centimetres, making sure it lines up with the bottom. You don't want any unsightly edges. There we go. Okay. So we've got a flap, flap, fold, fold, pockets, and then we're going to go the other way round on this folio. So we're going to have that one at the bottom. Let's just flip that over a centimetre or so, about a centimetre, wasn't it? Pressing that down. Okay, and then we'll do the same with the pink spot. It's a real lovely dusky pink. Popping that down. And corner. And corner. And just a little distress, just a little. So you could make this out of book pages, magazine pages. I've chosen these because I want to stick on top. I did have a go at doing a little bit of a dummy run using just book pages and paper clips. And then this is another go. This one's only got the one fold out, and then it's got other flippy flaps. But I thought, you know what, let's go with some collage papers. I have got a sturdier collage papers, cardstock kind of ones, but I didn't want it too thick because it becomes a bit thick when you've got all the pockets and flaps and everything in. Okay, so that's the bottom one. Just making that sure that's stuck down. Then we're going to do the same with the top. Remembering I've just left about a few millimeters around, and then I'm going to line that one up with that one, making sure it kind of, yeah, just overlaps. And then that is the basic construction, because what you're then going to use is you're going to put, if you wanted to, a series of pockets in there. You can add tuck spots, you could add more of this style pocket, and then you can add tuck spots, you could add lots of pockets on there. So you've got the back of that one to do as well, you could add two. And then you've got this front cover. So the front cover I'm actually going to leave quite plain. So that is the basic construction. So your basic construction is 2 A4-ish sheets folded into 3s, using another A4 sheet, fold it in half, and then cut out these to make these envelope type pockets, and then use those envelope pockets as a bridge to stick the 2 A4 sheets together, and then making a flap up and a flap down. Oh, and then is when you can decorate. You can add extra tuck spots, you can add extra pockets. What I might do before I finish, I'm going to actually just add another kind of like folio pocket onto this. Okay, so I want it roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. Let's go roughly 7 centimeters. I need a new cutting mat. I do keep turning this one round and turn it over, because you end up with big divot ridges. Okay, let's do another one 7 centimeters. Let's come across, and we'll use one of the other lines, because this line, you can see it's got a really deep groove in it, so the knife actually gets stuck in the groove and it goes a little bit wonky. But we're just going to come and do this one. And we know my folio is 18 centimeters high, so I'm going to cut both of these slightly shorter than the 18. I think we're going to go 17, because I don't want these flush. I want these like the little flip flaps in the inside. Okay. Might be time for a new blade in my Stanley knife. And then I'm just going to snip the corners. I do it upside down because sometimes it doesn't completely play ball. And then I am going to put about halfway, pop a semi. I'll do them individually. And the other one. And I've turned one over one way, one over the other way. So you've got both sides of the pattern, and I'm just going to, you see what I mean by it's shiny paper, so I can just rub off any excess. go to my Flap Folio. So I'm going to have one of them on the front here, to about there, and then the other one will go on the front here. Okay, so this one I'm opening the other way round, and you'll see because that one's the wider one, so it'll cover it. Okay, so we're just going to pop a little bit of glue around the edges of this. Just in the top, the bottom, and what will be the spine's edge. Just a line of glue, trying to keep as close to the edge as possible. And then I'm just going to have it about there. Did I want it that way round? I did, wouldn't I? Oh well, it's going that way round now. Okay, and then we're going to go that one opens. So this one, what side did we have up? We have the spots up, that one will come out like that. And then you've got space to tuck things in. Okay, so let's glue this one as well. It's just carrying the theme through, using up the papers that we've already got in circulation. And the great thing with creating tuck spots and belly bands and all those things is I can just use these little bits of scrap if I need to. So then that one was going that way. And it's up to you how many pockets you put on it, how many tuck spots, how many kind of letter spots. I might use some little baby money envelopes to create some of the pockets under the flippy flap. Okay, so that one folds, that's the back, and then that's the front. And when we come to embellish it, I'll use bits of lace. That seam there will have some washi tape or something stuck down it. I am going to round the corners on the edges of the flaps. I'm going to leave those ones square, so I'm going to do that. Let's do that now then, while we're all together. And then this is part one of making my Flap Folio. As I said, I'm going to choose the Be Happy stationery kit I want to use to embellish this. It has got quite a romancy feel to it, so I might do the Love Is in the Air, or I may go completely unmatching, uncoordinating, and choose any of the other kits. There's naturals in this. It's quite a muted colour palette, quite an earthy tone. So we might go with the Secret Garden, as I said, but I'm going to have a look on Be Happy's Ko-fi shop. There will be a discount link that in the next video I will share the discount link that you can use to get 30% off any of the Be Happy stationery kits by using my link. Okay, so there we have the start of our Flap Folio. Join me in the next video for decorating and embellishing, and then we might even just be able to do this in 2 parts, hopefully. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Join me again.